Hi, Miss Jackie's friends. Today's kindergarten skills lesson is going to be all about cutting. So in kindergarten, we do a whole lot of crafts and activities where we will need to cut things. So everyone should have their own pair of kid scissors. Now, let's talk about some rules with scissors that are very important. Scissors like this that you have at your home are for cutting paper only, and paper that you have permission to cut. Scissors are not for cutting your hair. There are people who have to go to a special school to be able to cut hair. We haven't gone to that school, so we are not allowed to cut hair. Scissors are also not for cutting your clothes or cutting anything around the house that you're not allowed to cut. They're just for cutting paper. And today, you have some papers to practice your cutting. You have 3 different papers with different kinds of lines to practice cutting. This is a paper with some squiggly lines to practice cutting. Then we have some straight lines and zigzag lines. So if you look at your pages, on the zigzag lines, you have a cat that wants to get to the fish. So you're going to cut your way, starting on the side the cat is, all the way over to the fish. On the straight lines, you have a rabbit that wants to get to the carrot. And on the squiggly lines, you have a mouse that wants to get over to the cheese to get something to eat. So, on our pages, we have our names at the top. Always start with writing your name. Now let's talk a little bit about what our scissors need to look like when we have them on our hands. So if you look at your scissors, it has a small opening and a larger opening. When I use my scissors, my thumb goes in the small opening and my fingers go in the larger opening. Now, I have 3 fingers that fit in this large opening. Some of you may have 4 fingers that fit. When we cut, we push them out to make our scissors open, and we bring them back together to make them close. Now, I'm gonna go over to a different part of the room so that you can watch the smartboard to show you how I'm gonna cut this paper. Okay, but there's a little rhyme that I want you to remember as we're cutting. Thumb up high to the sky. So that means when I'm cutting something, my thumb is going to be on the top. And it goes up high to the sky and close. Open and close. Now, I'm walking away from the camera, and always when we're walking with scissors, we want to hold them on the sharp end as we're walking, so that if we fall or we run into something, no one's going to get hurt. So I'm going to walk away just like this so you can see my hand on the smartboard. Okay, friends, here is my paper that I'm going to be cutting today. The first thing that I need to do is start with my pencil. And right here at the top, I'm going to write my name. Miss Jackie. And I always do that on every paper that I do. I want people to know this is my hard work that I'm doing. So I'm going to pick up my paper and I'm going to hold it still with one hand. I'm going to get my scissors on the other hand. Remember, my thumb goes in the small hole, my fingers go in the bigger one. I'm going to open my scissors and put it at the edge of the paper, right where my line starts. And I'm going to squeeze my fingers together to make my scissors close. Open it back up, squeeze together to make my scissors close. Now I want you to watch. I have one hand holding tight to the paper and one hand with the scissors. And I'm cutting nice and slow. And I'm moving my hand to help me hold the paper where I need to. And moving my other hand to make sure It's going the same direction that the line is going. You see that? I cut and stayed right on the line. Now I'm going to pick up my paper again, and I'm going to start on the next line. Close my fingers, open them back up. Close my fingers, open them back up. I'm going nice and slow, just like when I was coloring yesterday, to make sure that I stay on the lines. Nice and slow, because this makes my best work. Cut all the way. Look at that, nice cutting right there on the line. I'm going to keep cutting that page until all of that is finished. Then I'm going to go to the next one. Now, this one has a line for my name. Can't forget to write my name at the top of the paper, so we know whose work it is, Miss Jackie. Now on this one, it's a straight line. This is a little bit easier. If you want to start with this page, you can. So I'm going to, just like I did before, hold onto the paper with my hand. And in my other hand, I have my thumb in the small hole, my fingers in the big one, and I'm starting with my thumb up high to the sky. My thumb is at the top. I'm going to close, open, close, open, close, open, close. Nice and slow, staying right on that line. And I'm going to keep going on that page until all of these lines are cut. And my last page, the zigzag, get my name on it. This one is probably the hardest. But remember, when we read our Pout Pout Fish book, we talked about always trying your best. Your best is always good enough. Only your best. So I want you to try your very best to stay on these lines. So I'm starting with my scissors open and my thumb up high to the sky. Cut. And then I kind of have to use my hand that's not cutting to move my paper. Now I'm going to use my hand and turn it. Use my hand and turn it. Notice that I'm cutting nice and slowly, staying on the lines. And I got that cat all the way to the fish. I'm going to cut nice and slowly all the rest of the lines. So friends, today you have the 3 papers that we want you to cut. Try your very, very best to keep those scissors on the lines and cut all the way across the paper. When you're finished, you have a couple pictures if you'd like to color them. Okay? You guys have a great day.